Hey everyone, happy Thursday. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a fantabulous day. It has been a whirlwind, you guys. I swear I couldn't make it on time for anything, even if I tried. But hello, I wanted to come on live today and do a live recap of the recent Sister Wives episode because there was some things that I noticed in this episode that really sparked some questions when it comes to the future of the Sister Wives franchise. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that. And I also just wanted to play a couple of clips, talk about it, get your opinions on it, because here's the thing about it. Without Christine, I don't know. Like, I hadn't thought about it before, but in the last episode, when Robin made a comment, she was like, if we're not careful, this is going to be the end of our family. And that made me really think about it. And she is not wrong. This really could be the end for them. So we're going to kind of recap what happened in this episode for those of you who did not see it. I am also going to put on some makeup, play with a little bit of makeup. My skin is looking the best it's looked in a long time, you guys. And I've not really been wearing a lot of foundation or anything. But I'm going to put it on for today. If you are watching the replay and you don't want all the, nonsense talk, then there will be timestamps in the comment section down below. You can kind of skip around to the parts that you're more interested in. So I know not everybody's into live streaming, and I get it. I totally get it. So make sure you check it out. I'll also put it in the description below as well. But yeah, I got some new products I wanted to kind of play with and just kind of really talk about this, because this episode was unlike prior episodes. There wasn't a lot of dramaticals. There wasn't a lot of, any of that. You know how reality shows do. They heighten up the drama so that people will watch. I mean, that's the reason they do it. But this time was so different. This episode didn't need all of that, if that makes sense. It was very bittersweet as someone who has watched the show for several years. And yeah, it really had me thinking about it, because up until this point, even though we know Christine's leaving the family, right? And we know that she and Cody has divorced, all of these things. At the same time, she's still on the show. So I don't think it's really sunk in, at least for me, and maybe some of you guys can agree, that there's going to come a point where Christine's not going to be on the show. And what is that going to look like? Well, we're going to get into it. But while I am moisturizing my face, let me go ahead and turn the chat really quick, just to say hello to everybody. I'm going to use my other phone to say hey. Hey, looking for Jack Skeleton. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you could make it. I'm sorry I'm late. I swear, you guys, it's always something. I had to get the dogs in the kennel and then get the baby situated. Thankfully, my mom showed up, and she is such a huge help, honestly. But hello, I'm glad you could make it. Denise, hello. Thank you so much for being here, girlfriend. I'm so glad you could make it as well. And yeah, okay. So also, before we get started, if you guys would, I have a amazing mod and dear friend of mine. Her name's Miranda. She just lost her father this week. And if you guys could just keep her and her family in your thoughts and prayers, I know she would appreciate it. And I definitely do as well. My heart just goes out to her and her whole family. It really does. So I wanted to make sure to mention that as well. And if you guys could please like this video. If you're not already subscribed, tap the bell. That way you are notified when I drop videos. I know this is a little bit different and everything, but I really wanted to try out these products. And I asked you guys over on my community post what you thought about maybe doing a little get ready with me while we talk about this. And you guys were all for it. So, yeah, so that's what we are going to do. Denise said, did you change your, oh, Shay's here. How did I miss Shay? Hello, Shay. Thank you for being here. I don't know why she's not showing up on my end. Oh, it's duh. She changed her name. I feel so stupid. Shay, you change your name so much, I cannot keep up. I really can't. But hello, Shay. I should have just said Shay. I wasn't even paying attention. All I seen was the looking for Jack skeleton, and I was like, never seen that person before. But hello, Shay. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so we got our moisturizer on. I'm using, I don't know if you guys want to know what products I'm using, but this one is the Shiseido Synchronized Skin. This is what it looks like. And I think it's like around $30. I did not pay full price. Most of these I did get in subscription boxes, but this is a good one. And it's supposed to blur your face as well. Y'all let me know if the lighting is too bright. I know I'm white as a ghost, and there's really not much I can do about that. But if it's too bright, let me know and I'll dim it a little bit, okay? Let's see here. Okay, so to kick this off, let me go ahead and pop up a picture for you guys. So to kick off this episode, we had Janelle and Cody going to get her RV and placing it onto their Coyote Pass property. And this is a really big deal for Janelle. She's been wanting to do this for a while. They've been talking about building on this land for such a long time. And she finally, kind of bit the bullet, so to speak, and got this RV. Now, in the last episode, they went her and the family had a meeting, and she told them, and everyone seemed to be extremely supportive in the moment, which is kind of how they always do. In the moment, they'll be super supportive, and then later on, there seems to be some sort of an issue, and this was no different. So they have the conversation. Everyone's like shocked that she really wants to do this. But it only made sense with the situation with her house and what was going on there. So she gets this RV, sight unseen. And in this episode, they're going to pick it up. And during that period, they have yet another conversation where Janelle fills Cody in and lets him know that because of city guidelines and codes, she will have to move the RV every 4 months, so that just to follow the codes and guidelines of the city. Well, Cody proceeds to tell her that I guess her plan, and it only makes sense, they got all this land. So it makes sense in my head as well as Janelle's that she would just kind of, go back and forth on everybody's different property. You got Robin's property, you've got Mary's property, and whatever they're doing with Christine's now. There's a lot of property there. So you wouldn't think it would be an issue, but apparently Cody makes it very clear that she is going to have to talk to the Sisterwives and get it approved by each one of them before she puts this plan into motion and make sure that they're okay with it. And here's the thing about it, you guys. They already had the family meeting. I'm sure, even though we didn't see that part recorded, I'm almost positive that they had that conversation already. You know what I'm saying? And she let them know. And like I said, during that family meeting, everybody was super supportive, but this is what they always do. They always do this to each other's face. They're super supportive, and they're like, yeah, girl, if that's what you want to do, I couldn't do it, but if that's what you want to do, we support you. But then in this one, we see Mary and Robin in the confessional kind of griping about the fact that she's going to be rotating this RV around on the properties. And it's just temporary until she gets her house built. So that kind of brings up the thing that I've noticed watching the show for a really long time. So when it comes to Christine and Janelle, okay, and I'm using my Tom Ford foundation. I love this stuff, you guys. It is the best. But when it comes to Christine and Janelle, both of them are very headstrong women. They say what's on their mind. There's no having to guess what they're thinking. You know what I'm saying? None of that. And if they have an issue with one of the other sister wives, they have always let them know what the problem is. You know what I mean? But when it comes to Robin and Mary, they are quite the opposite. They are constantly playing nice to people's faces, and then you'll see these confessionals on TV, and it's like something completely different than what they said in front of the person. You know what I'm saying? And that is no different in this situation. Mary makes the comment about how she don't really like the idea of a trailer or an RV being parked on her property, just sitting there. And, Robin made her little snarky remarks too. And it's like, but you're not doing anything with it right now. So what is it going to hurt you? It is temporary. It's helping your sister wife. What is the big deal? I don't understand it. I really don't. Um, and maybe that's just me, but maybe there's a bias there. But I have noticed when it comes to those two women, they kind of follow in the direction of whatever Cody says. And, in front of Cody and in front of the other sister wives, they're like dang near perfect, right? But then you'll see them in these confessionals and it is a completely different story. And I know that reality TV, TLC does this because it heightens the drama, right? But at the same time, I don't really think it's an act with these two. I think that is just how they are. Christine and Janelle are confident in their voice and they use their voice on a regular basis. And that has been a big issue with them and their marriage with Cody, because Cody doesn't like strong, independent women who speak up for themselves and all of these things. He doesn't like that, because then he can't control and all of these things. But with Mary and Robin, it's a completely different story. And I just kind of wanted to say that because I've noticed it quite a bit lately. So that happens. And then we kind of cut to Mary. Speaking of Mary. So for those of you who haven't been watching the show, haven't been able to keep up for whatever reason, hold on, let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, thank you, Shay. Thank you for tweeting the stream. I appreciate that. Yes, for Halloween, Denise said this is my lick for the year. That's funny. Okay, so with speaking of Mary, for those of you who haven't been following the show, Mary in the episode, in what we're watching this season now, which is a year old or right at a year old, she's just unexpectedly lost her mother. And of course that's devastating. It's heartbreaking for the whole family. Bonnie was a huge part of their family, and it happened so unexpectedly. Mary said that she had gotten sick, gotten a little sick, and then next thing you know, she is gone. It happened that quickly. And it's never easy to lose a parent. It really isn't. And you can tell that Mary isn't in a good place because of it. And it kind of really broke my heart, setting all the ways that I feel about Mary aside, that she didn't have more support from the family, especially Cody, throughout all of this. Cody just really isn't there for her. But in this episode, we see Mary talking about the bed and breakfast, which is where her mom lived. And Mary had bought this bed and breakfast, quite some time back, to keep it in the family, to keep the home in the family. Her mom's been staying there. And now that her mom has passed away, she's trying to figure out what she's going to do with it. And she has said on multiple occasions to the whole family, all the sister wives, Cody, they all know that she does not want to live in that home. She just wanted to keep the house in the family. So when she's having this conversation with Cody, trying to figure out what she's going to do with it, and Cody tells her that she should live there, in her perspective, this was kind of like a slap in the face, because she has said so many times she doesn't want to live there. And it feels like the vibe that I got off of it, and I'm sure Mary feels the same way. Not only did she just lose her mom, but now it feels like Cody's pushing her further away, trying to further alienate her from the family, away from him, away from, Robin, the kids, everybody. And that's how it kind of feels. And I'm sure she felt similar. So I did just want to mention that because that happened in this episode. It was just a small portion, but it's heartbreaking. And with Mary, I do get frustrated only because uh, she takes and she takes and she takes so much. And what keeps her holding on is that family dynamic. And she makes another comment later on in this episode about how, you know, she if she can commit and she can, do all of these things, then why can't Christine, essentially? But everybody is different. Not everyone can do what Mary does. Not everybody gets that fulfillment. When you're miserable and you're not getting the love that you deserve, the respect that you deserve, all of this, everyone has a breaking point. And I think Mary does too. I don't know what it's going to take to get her there, but I know that she does have a breaking point because we all do. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, I feel for her. You know what I mean? I really, really do feel for her at the same time. So I wanted to make sure to just briefly mention that as well. It does bother me. Hey, Scott, I'm glad you could make it. Let's see. It was sad about Mary. Her mom died and he did not show up to be there for her. I know, Scott. It was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Like, she shouldn't have to ask him. You know what I'm saying? He should just be there. She shouldn't have to ask. She shouldn't have to work around his schedule. It's frustrating. It is so frustrating. And Mary takes so much. And with a smile on her face. And it really does. It just makes me really sad. Let's see. That was his mother-in-law. Yep. Mm-hmm. It is terrible. It's awful. So anyways, you guys, let me show you real quick what I use so I've been using this little doodad here. Like I said on my second video, I use pretty much nothing but cream products now, just because they're fast, they're easy, they seem to last really long for me. And this is so cute. It's got everything I need right here. I also have another little compact as well, but it's got a highlighter, blush, and bronzer here. So this is what I've been using. Like I said, I don't even really wear foundation that much either anymore, but I am going to put on a little bit of blush and a little bit of bronzer. And yeah, but moving on to the meat and potatoes of this episode, we have the final family gathering, and this was the big deal of the episode because this is it. And this is really what made me start thinking about the future of the show, because I hadn't really thought about it, you guys. I really hadn't thought about it. Christine still being on the show and everything, it hadn't really crossed my mind. But I want to just say that even though it is bittersweet, and I've been extremely happy for Christine, because she deserves to be happy. She deserves to do what makes her happy, and she deserves to be respected. All of these things, that she's not been getting from Cody and from the whole family. So, it just kind of, I'm just happy to see that she took that initiative. I've been so happy for her kids, everybody. Thank you for the super chat, Denise. Prayer for Peach. Yes, you guys, please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Denise. But yeah, so I've been so happy and everything for her that she was able to get out of this dynamic and break free and learn to love herself again. All these things that she deserves as a woman, as a person. And seeing in this episode them getting together and kind of like the old days, like they used to do, it was bittersweet, and it made me start thinking about how much it's really going to change everything. But the kids, her children in this, they in the confessional, they talk about how they support their mama's decision, that they are happy for her. They think it's for the best. McKelty, there was one part where McKelty, I may have a clip, but there's one part where McKelty says, I think it's for the best for not only her, but for my dad as well. And, um, they're not happy. They've not been happy. So it's for the best. She deserves to find love. And Isabel says the same thing, and she was the one that made the comment about how Christine deserves to find someone who's going to love her and treat her the way she deserves to be treated. So this lets us know, again, Christine did do an interview, I think it was with People's Magazine a couple of months ago, saying that she was open to dating, and I would love for her to find someone who really appreciates her. She does deserve that, and she's beautiful for her age and just everything. She has been glowing, and maybe that's just me, but I've really noticed a huge difference since she has left Cody and how she takes care of herself and the way that she holds herself. She's always been beautiful, but now she's even, I don't know, 10 times more beautiful, if that makes sense. So, but Tony made a point in this episode that I want to touch on really quickly. I'm going to play a quick clip for you guys, and then we'll talk about it. Hold on one second.
I thought it was a little inevitable. I can't imagine any man being perfect enough to be able to handle 4 wives. I thought it was a little inevitable. I can't imagine any man being perfect enough.
So yeah, he's not wrong. He isn't wrong. Like, I couldn't imagine it either. Like, being married to multiple people and having to keep everyone satisfied and treat everyone equal. I have multiple kids, and I know it's completely different, but you know, making sure you're giving enough time, treating them all equal, showing them all the same amount of love. It is work. It is. It is a constant thing that you have to do. So I could only imagine that being in, having 2 husbands. I couldn't even imagine, let alone 4. So he's not wrong. But after the kids have their little, say so about how they feel about all of this, we see Cody. And you can tell, you guys, that he regrets so much of the choices he's made, the rules that he's set forth for his family. He regrets a lot of it, and in this episode you can see it so much. So again, I'm going to play another clip of just him and what he had to say. There was a couple of little clips I wanted to play that really stood out to me, and this was one of them, because you can see it written in his face. It's so obvious. And a part of me, I know I criticize him so much, but a part of me really does feel for him. But at the same time, as a person, human to human, that he's going through this, but at the same time, it is his own fault, So how can you really feel sorry for someone who had so many opportunities to get it right and to really put in the effort that needed to be put in? This is what he wanted. And I know it's easier said than done, and he gets a lot of criticism. I get it, but I'm really on the fence on how I feel about it. I'm going to play that for you guys real quick too.
I've got what feels like very strained relationships with a bunch of the kids. I'm not in a good place with everybody. And it's not that I'm trying to be angry or trying to hold them accountable in this moment or anything like that. I don't feel like I've got the respect that I should have. No, I'm not okay. I'm in a funk. It's a kind of this loneliness. combined with a bitterness with the entire family.
It is sad. It's sad. No matter the situation, you guys, it's sad when any family is broken, whether it's this person's fault or that person's fault. It is sad to see a family be broken apart like this. And for that sole purpose, my heart does go out to even him, because it was sad seeing them together as it broke my heart. And then, this family gathering, it was for Isabel's graduation slash 18th birthday. So it was a celebration for both. And they did this thing as a family to surprise her. I'm talking and not putting any makeup on. I'm sorry. They did this little thing to kind of surprise her. And that mirror is too small. And the whole family decided to sing her the song Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, which is a beautiful song. It is one of those that will forever be a hit song. You know what I mean? But Isabel didn't know about it. So Christine starts off singing it, and then the family joins in. And I almost teared up, you guys, because that part, you could see them working as a family and them all being there to support Isabel. And it was kind of emotional, so that got me. That got me in my feels a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. And it was so good. Like, no, are they professional singers? Absolutely not. But it was the fact that they did all of this for her, and she cried, which I think is another reason why it got me so emotional, because she got emotional. And y'all already know, if you've been around for a minute, I am an emotional nutcase. I mean, really, I could cry on cue. I really could. So, sorry, you guys. So yeah, I thought that was also kind of sweet and bittersweet too at the same time. And then it kind of ends with them just talking about the future, the fact that they're not going to be doing this much more. This is probably the last time. Janelle makes the comment about how she feels like more than likely she's not optimistic. Her words verbatim is, she wasn't that optimistic that they were going to have many more family gatherings like that one. And I'm kind of there in the same place. I don't feel like, now that Christine is in Utah and Isabel's in North Carolina and she's going to college and everybody's just everywhere, that there are going to be many more family gatherings like that. And with Christine, I know that she more than likely doesn't even want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So it is very much bittersweet. But Robin, of course, she in her confessional, she said a couple of little things, and it just goes to show how different their perspectives are. Because with Mary, her perspective is very much, well, why can't you just suck it up and do what's best for the family? They need this. We're not doing the family justice. The young kids in the family, suck it up. Just suck it up. Do what you're supposed to do. You committed, whatever, which is what Mary has done, right? And that's her perspective. And then you have Robin, she just don't understand, like, this dynamic. It's so worth it, and she can't get it. So I'm gonna play that for you guys too. This is the last clip, I promise, and then we'll kind of get into a little bit more of the talks of what this is going to look like for the future. Is there going to be a future for Sisterwives? Because y'all, at this point, I really don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can see a future without Christine in it. But nonetheless, I'm going to be quiet, start on my eyes, because I talk too much. And let's watch this.
It's strange because, like, we're in this moment and we're having a nice time. How is this wrong? How does this not work for everybody? Why isn't this something worth fighting for? Why isn't this something worth staying for? I don't know. I'm just one of those people who hopes constantly that maybe something will spark for someone and they'll just go, oh, this is worth figuring out and sticking around. Because I don't know, I would look at it and think that.
So, see what I mean? It's very much the perspective. Everybody's perspective is very different. Janelle's was very realistic. You know, she's not optimistic that they're going to get together like this much. And of course that's sad, but she's happy for Christine and her kids because they're going to really get to discover who they are. Isabel, truly, Christine, they get to really discover who they are now. And Janelle's very happy for them, but it is still sad. Then Mary, she has this, you can feel it in the air. She has this resentment towards Christine. And I understand from her perspective, but I wish she could be a little bit more open to the fact that not everybody can live that lifestyle. And Christine had done it for a very long time. So it's not like she just threw in the towel, you know, without giving it a good shot. That's not it at all, you know? And I don't know, you guys, it's just really sad. And then with Robin, she really is something else, you guys. Like, it's not that I disagree with her, you know, seeing them together. It is sad. And it is probably the first time since they split that I've really felt sadness about this situation, because it is sad. But at the same time, I don't see another way, because, and that's for all of them. I wish all of them could come to terms with the fact that it's not what it used to be. And it's not the image that they may have had it dreamt up in their head. You know what I mean? Let's see here, because I know I've missed a couple of you guys. Let's see. Who wants to suck it up when you are miserable and your husband wants nothing to do with you? Exactly, Tammy. And that's what I'm saying. Like, who wants to do that? And I get it. It's a commitment. Like, you committed yourself. And marriage, you know, it's no joke, especially within their religion and stuff. Like, I get it. You know, Christine's doing the unthinkable in a situation like this, because they are expected to suck it up and just deal with it, you know, Tammy. So when you're in a dynamic like that, I'm sure it is difficult to, you know, do what needs to be done. But it's just, it's hard. It's hard to watch, and it's hard to see just the different perspectives, and how, even though Mary has been treated so badly, she still thinks this way. You know what I mean? And that is very sad to me. And with Robin, of course, her perspective hasn't changed, because in my opinion, she has been the least affected by all of this. You know, like, the only thing that has really been affected when it comes to Robin is that she says she wants to be in polygamy, and that this isn't what she signed up for. So I guess if it wasn't what you signed up for, and seeing essentially everyone dropping off like flies, Mary and Cody's relationship is basically over. Janelle, let's be honest about it, Janelle and Cody's relationship, they have an agreement, you know, like, it's more of like two friends who decide to get married because it benefits them type thing. They're not, it is not your everyday relationship, you know, which none of them are really, except for Robin and Cody. Again, they're the only two that do have, and it appears anyways, from what we see, they have a somewhat monogamous, healthy, not really healthy relationship, or whatever. Like, they're the healthiest out of the bunch, so to speak, but it's not really not really healthy. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. And I know everybody chooses the life they want to live. I'm not judging polygamy whatsoever. It's not really about that. I feel like, if you want to be polygamous, to each their own. To each their own. Just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's, whatever. Just because it's against my beliefs, I don't judge people based off of that. It's the fact that if that's truly what you want to do, then you have to also be willing to put in the work that goes into having a polygamous lifestyle. And that is the main issue here. It's like Cody wanted this lifestyle, this polygamous lifestyle, but he didn't want to put in the work and the effort that goes into making a polygamous lifestyle work, and that's the main problem that I see. So Dawn says Mary and Cody never had a spiritual wedding. They divorced, and that was it. Technically, she is not a wife. You're right. You're right. You're not wrong. I agree. And I shared something over on my community post. I think it was like last week that put it into perspective too. Out of all of them, Christine is the only one who hasn't been legally divorced or, anything like that. And I hadn't really thought about it, but it's true because, Mary was married prior. You guys, it's a lot. It's a lot. It really is. But you're right. You're not wrong at all. And that is my belief. It's my belief that one man, one wife, that is my belief, but that doesn't mean that I judge anyone out that lives outside of that. I support whomever. It's about the fact that are you going to really put in the work and commit and do what needs to be done to make that relationship work. And that doesn't matter what the dynamic is. That's how I feel about it, but so that was basically, and I know that was a little long, you guys, but I have such a hard time trying to do makeup and talk and stay on track at the same time. I think, should I put lashes on? What do you guys think? I'm going to put some mascara on. This is basically it. I'm going to put a lip on. I'm going to put some mascara on. These are the mascaras I'm currently using, and I will also put these products. This is the palette. I showed it in my on my second channel. Woo! It's from the company or brand Lawless. It's called The One, and it has a really, really pretty color story. I used, what colors? I used this color here and this color here. Very simple, very quick. I really don't do a whole bunch, you guys. Then I use two different mascaras. I'm not a big, huge eyeliner person unless I am putting on lashes. Yesterday, I did put lashes on and they looked really good. I was pleasantly shocked at how good they looked. Let's see. Down, he still has to co-parent though. Yes. Yeah. Well, and that was in the last episode, Shay. He mentioned in that episode, he's like, you can't just take Truly away from me because I deserve 50-50 time with her and being able to see her. And I agree, but I also agree with Christine when Christine says, oh, I meant to, my mom is commentating in the background. I meant to curl my lashes. But yeah, no, it's, Christine said, well, if that's what you wanted, why haven't you been doing that the whole time? Like, you've had this whole time to see Truly all you wanted and to be in her life and to do this and that. Why does it take us separating and me going to live my life in order for you to want to be in hers? And I get it. It does feel like he is weaponizing the fact that Truly is his child and now all of a sudden he cares. And that's not okay. That's why my last thumbnail said, weaponizing the kids is not okay. It's not. Hey, Brittany, I'm glad you can make it. Is Miranda in here? I didn't see Miranda. Is she in here? How am I missing her? But yeah, so I get what she's saying too, you know? I really do. It does feel like it's only when it's convenient for Cody does he want to be the father, the husband, the man that he's supposed to be, you know? And it's not okay. It's actually one of the biggest reasons Christine and him split up to begin with, you know? Let's see. Even though Mary has no relation, she still sticks. Even though Mary has no relation, she will stick to her vows no matter what. I think you're right, Scott. And you know what? And I respect that. Like I said, everybody is different. But I couldn't. If I was Mary, I could not do what Mary does. I respect it, you know, whatever, but yeah, I couldn't do that. All right. This is very, very tedious work, you guys. So I'm going to be quiet for like 2 seconds. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
All right. So I put this on my mama. She comes over and she'll start cleaning and.
Well, I'm bored.
I put this on the top lash, and then I put this other one, which is the lash snack from, what is her name? She's a TikToker. No. Oh my gosh, what is her name? I know it. Addison something. Anyways, her makeup brand. That's what I put on the bottom. And I'm really not going to get too fancy with it. But this here, you can get this on Amazon for like $4, you guys. Best mascara. I just got it last month, I think, because I had seen Janelle Evans used it. And so I just tried it out because she raved about how great it was. And it really, really is good. It's a lightweight formula, so it doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't make your lashes stiff. It feels very natural, like you have nothing on your lashes. And I love that. And I also like the fact that it doesn't transfer. It dries down very quickly and it doesn't transfer. It's called Essence Lash Princess. And you got to get the one, because they got different ones. You got to get the one with the green little lace on it. But it's called Lash Princess, Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. They have a couple of different ones that I may try, but I really like this one, and it's super duper affordable. But when it comes to, I want to make sure I'm not missing you guys. Oh, thank you, Tanisa. My husband, because I'm redheaded, my husband is always talking about how you can't see them. If I don't have anything on my lashes, you cannot tell that I have lashes. But when I do stick something on, and I don't think this has fibers in it. Maybe it does. I don't think it does. But when I do put just a little bit of mascara, you can tell I actually got them. I do have them. They're just very, very light. All right. So I just stick this, and see how tiny this little applicator is? That's why I like to use it on the bottom. I don't really wear eyeliner. So this is the next best thing. And like I said, this one's called the Lash Snack Lengthening Mascara. And it's really cute, but I like that little tiny brush because you can get into all the little cracks and crevices better. I cannot do my mascara without opening my mouth. I just can't. I can't do it. All right. So that's all I'm going to do for that. All right. Now I'm going to pop on a lip, and then we'll finish this. I think I'm just going to do a lip gloss. I don't want to do too much. I might put on a little bit of highlight, But honestly, it kind of already looks a little highlighty. I think that may have been, I don't know. I don't know why it's shiny like that. But so once this made me start thinking about when Christine actually does leave the show.
I don't think
What will the show look like? And I'm just like you guys. Like I watch the show. I enjoy the show. I try to keep up with things like what's going on. If there's new news that isn't on the show, like breaking news, I try to keep up with those things. But I am just like you guys. I'm a fan of the show. Love watching it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the future holds for the show. Tammy said Christine left in November of 2021. Absolutely. So it's been a year. I wonder how much co-parenting he's done. I don't think much. I don't think much. But so let's see. So you have blonde lashes, so you have to use mascara. I feel you, Shay. I'm the same way. I'm the same. Oh, and yes, I love the Thrive mascara too. That's actually what I used before this one, but I've been using this one a lot. I needed to get a new one. I've had the Thrive one for months, like probably over 6 months now, and still got a good amount out of it. Like there's still a good amount left, but I needed to go ahead and pick up something else. Anyways, do you think I should put lashes on, you guys? Let me know. Anyways, sorry, I get off topic. There is a couple of different ways that the show could go. So, after this season, realistically, more than likely, with Christine going back to Utah and all of those things, she probably won't be on the show. Okay, so let's look at it from that angle. If Christine isn't on the show, I just don't see how it's going to keep going because, like I said, Mary and Cody's relationship is on the rocks. We hardly see Mary on the show as it is. Like, think about it. Really think about it. She's the one she's got one kid that's fully grown. You know, it's very much just her, and we hardly see her. Like, out of all of them, Mary is the one we see the less of. So off the bat, if Christine's gone, well, we hardly see Mary. And when we do, it's always just showing how bad her and Cody's relationship is and her relationship with the whole family, even though she is struggling and fighting so hard to try to have a good relationship with them and to, you know, keep things going and stay committed, like Scott said. And it never seems to pay off for her. And it's just heartbreaking. So we've got that to look forward to. And then with Janelle, sure, there's an amazing storyline there. She's probably going to be building her house. And I'm sure we could see that process. That would probably be a good majority of the next season would be that. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, you have, I need to use a smaller brush. Then, of course, you have Robin and Cody and their life, which I think would be what the show consists the most of, is them. And it does. It just makes me wonder, how many of you, once Christine is gone, how many of you will continue watching? Are you that invested in seeing Robin and Cody's dynamic? Or Janelle building her house? I think I could be interested in that. You know what I'm saying? Seeing them actually start that process and, you know, building on the land and all of those things, that could be interesting. But outside of that, I don't think I would really be that interested in the show. I didn't realize, for me anyways, personally, oh yes, Shay, I agree with you, girlfriend. A good show would be Surviving Sisterwives as a spinoff. Abso-freaking-lutely. And Christine have her own show. Like, that would be so good. So good. Hey, Donnell, thank you for being here. Glad you could make it. I I just wonder when enough is going to be enough for Mary. Tammy, you and me both. You and me both. I wonder the same thing. I know I know it will happen one day. Not that I know it's bound to happen one day because we all have a breaking point, and I don't know how she hasn't reached hers yet. But God bless her, you know. But I agree. That was actually going to be my next angle. So, kind of going off of what Shay just said, another way to look at it, another angle where the show could continue, right, is if they continue filming Christine and, you know, kind of adding her into the show, but a different portion. You know what I mean? Like, it cuts to Christine and what Christine's doing to get back on her feet and living her life in Utah and how she's doing all of that. So they could keep her on the show and keep, you know, doing that, but I don't think they will because it just doesn't mash well. You've got the sister wives, and Christine is no longer a sister wife, so it wouldn't make sense for her to continue being on the show. So I really don't think that after this season she would be on the show. More than likely, I think a spinoff would be better. I think that Christine leaving is going to truly affect the views of that show. Not just Christine, but you got to remember her children, her grandchildren, all of them essentially will not be on the show anymore. And that's a large chunk of the family. I mean, let's be real about it. That's a large chunk of the family. Mary is hardly ever filmed at this point. We see little tiny clips here and there of her, very short, and it's usually the same story. It's always the same storyline for the last several years. So it's not that, from the perspective of the audience, I don't think that Mary's storyline is that interesting anymore. You know what I'm saying? That would tell us how much co-parenting Cody actually does. You're right. I can't Ragnod MK Hammer. This season so far of Sisterwives has been a total snooze fest. The endless conversations, season 17, it should be called Escaping Cody. Y'all are so freaking smart. That would be something I watched. That would be something I would be invested in. And I agree. You will still watch for now? That's interesting, Scott. Well, and I probably would still watch the show too if it continued, mostly just because I do want to see Janelle build on her land and see that process. I'm so interested in things like that, so I would love that part of it. And also just out of curiosity of how they are going to come back from this, because like I said, Robin was right. Robin was right. This is going to be tough for them to overcome as a family. But that escaping Cody, oh my goodness, that's so good. That's so good. See, that's what I'm saying. Is something like that, I would totally watch it. I do too, Denise. It's so good. I agree. I hope TLC doesn't steal our show ideas without paying us. Yeah, don't do that. I should get them. What is it called? Copyrighted. But yeah, so that's something I've been thinking about after this last episode, and seeing their family gathering and seeing how their dynamic, how it's been for years. You know, I've not really put a lot of thought into it. I know I watch it every week, and you know, we talk about it, and of course I'm not naive to the fact that Christine's left and she's leaving this season, right? But I don't think it's sunk in because she's still on the show. So it's not like I've really had an opportunity to think about what's going to happen after she leaves, because I do think it's going to change up so much of the way that show operates. And Cody made another good point too in this episode, where he said, I think I've showed this in like another preview on my channel somewhere, but starting off, they wanted to show how functional polygamy could be. And now looking at the way it's all unfolding, all they've really shown is how dysfunctional it is, especially for their family. And he ain't wrong. He isn't. But the thing is about it is I think that in order, again, not trying to like, be an echo and say the same thing over and over, but I do think that in order to make a dynamic like that work, everyone has to be willing to commit the way Mary has. Like, if you're going to do that, that's what you have to do to make it work. And I don't think, number one, Cody has not done that with any of them. It's like he just expected, and maybe this goes into their religious beliefs. I'm not quite sure. If any of you guys know, let me know. But it's like he just really expected him do nothing, them do everything, and it just be great. It just be great. He's just supposed to be put up on this throne and treated like a king and not have to do anything emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever. That's kind of how it feels. And maybe that's harsh of me to say, but that's how it feels, especially in the last 3 or 4 seasons. The last 3 or 4 seasons of this show, Cody has just been he's always been selfish, and it's always been about him. And I mean, what do you expect? It's kind of like any other relationship. If you're in a relationship with someone who, you treat like a king, even though they're not good to you, or vice versa, they treat you like a queen, even though you're not good to them. Why would you change? Why would you change? Because we're talking about over a decade now that it's been this dynamic, and Cody's always played the same role. So why would he switch up? It's never, they've dealt with it this long. So I guess from the human, perspective, I could see why he's like, oh, well, there's no reason. Why should I? I shouldn't have to change. You're not going to defy me. It's been a decade. You ain't going to start defying me now. That type of thing. But when you see that your family is being broken apart, your kids don't want to deal with you, your wives are starting to separate from you, they don't want to be around you. Like, at some point, you would think he would look in the mirror and be like, okay, like, this is I need to take my part here. It sucks, you guys. But yeah, I've been on here for a minute. The kids just got off the bus. Let me see. Hold on. Anytime you do a reality show, it ravages the relationship of the ones whom are on the show. Yeah, you're right. You're right, because the producers are always going to be behind the scenes also trying to spice it up too and cause little issues to get you to fight and to get you to argue. And in a dynamic like this, where it is already so fragile, I mean, you got to think, each one of them are constantly having to think about several people and their feelings and emotions. Sorry, guys. But that's already difficult. And then you add in these confessionals. I can imagine Christine watching these confessionals back and hearing what the other sister wives had to say behind the scenes, and all of them, because they've all talked smack about each other. As much as you want to say no hard feelings, we're on a reality TV show. The human in you is going to have a hard feeling, like, it just is what it is. Especially when these are people that you literally are constantly trying to live your life around and walk on eggshells and, make sure they're okay. And then behind your back, they're talking smack. No, couldn't do it. I could not be on a reality show. I'd end up snapping like I would. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for coming on here. This is my final look. I told you it's super, super simple, not anything fancy. And this is the most I do. I mean, like I said, I will put on a lash from time to time. But yeah, this is it, you guys. Very simple. Sometimes I do put on a lip, like an actual lip. But because it is getting late and the kids are now home, I knew they was going to be coming home soon. I just threw on this little lip gloss. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming on here and chilling with me for a few minutes. This was fun. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you like these little, I know they're a little bit more all over the place, but they are fun just to have live conversations and talk about the things that we're watching. So let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on here. I appreciate you all, to the moon and stars. And until the next one, bye.